Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what is going on? What up, what up, what up? I see all of you FA people out there in the Chizity chat. Crypto Bedell with being the first one with the FAs in the chat, like more than an hour ago. Baller. Even smashed that Lizzie like button, guys. Yo, that's what's up. What up, Gandhi Stuff and Things? What up, Golden Wolf? Got Jason the Tiger Osborne dropping in those FAs. And of course, Wheeling Crypto. He's like, I'm here. I'm here. I'll get your stuff sent out. I'm hoping by before the end of the week. We'll see how busy I am with everything else that I got going on. So it'll either be this week or I'll send it out next Monday by the latest. All right, my dude? And the Deadwood. Yo. That sucks, dude. Fucking, man, I hope you stay warm and shit like that, dude. That sucks, because, like, I feel you on that. The storm that came ripping through here laid out a couple of inches of snow. We had between 50 and 60 mile an hour winds, and we had, like, a wind chill of, like, I think it went down to, like, negative. It was, like, almost negative 20 below zero with the wind chill. It's like, yo, so it's like if you need to fire up that generator for some heat, make sure you do that, don't hold out. Electric companies like to drag their feet, especially if it knocked out a transformer or a lot of lines. Ice storms usually take down lots of lines because it starts collecting onto the cables until the point where they just basically break underneath the weight of the ice. So depending on how bad ice you got, all it took was a good wind and it just, everything came toppling down. That sucks. So, what up, Crypto Craig? Bedell's like, it's go time. Yes, it is. Shipping is slow now. 7 days for ground UPS. Dang. Yep. So if you're gonna be shipping anything out, like you almost like want to warn the person, hey, I'm gonna ship it out, but I'm gonna wait until after New Year's type of deal, probably, just the way, because like you still have a lot of the Christmas gifts that are coming in late, still processing through. So it's kind of like one of the reasons why I've kind of held out on. I used to work for UPS long, many moons ago. But like, for like the next, week and a half, they're still processing people's Christmas gifts coming in. But at least that following week, it is junk with shipping shit. Yeah, you never know, man. If everything got coated with ice, you have an older tree that gets coated in enough ice, it'll break underneath its own weight. And if your power line's underneath it, hasta la vista, baby. That's all she wrote, But hopefully they get your power back. This way you can get up and hashing and all that good stuff. Get that heat going back into your house. I mean, at 40 degrees during the day, 48 during the day, that's still kind of cold in the house. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So, everybody that got affected by the storms, be safe out there. I was actually surprised we didn't lose. We didn't lose any power here, thankfully. We didn't lose any power at the facility also. So, we have, there's all of that good stuff right there. So I mean, if you had your stuff if we can get everybody at the facility going, and then you have less issues with having downtime because of local weather patterns. Typically, what I end up seeing is your industrial districts usually keep their power going longer. I'm just saying. So, yep. Let's dig into today's topics. It's like, yeah, The storm sucks. Still troubleshooting over 20 machines that are messed up for one reason or another due to the storm. Man, I feel you on that one, man. I'll get into that in a little bit here. We're gonna go over some like little stuff, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes here. Right. Let's do this, guys. Boom. So, NVIDIA RTX 4070 Ti pre-orders have started in the chickadee China, guys. Guess what? You remember the 4080 non-Ti that they were gonna that they were gonna come out with, that low class 4080? Well, guess what the price is on these things? Same fucking price. Oh my God, we got $1,000 to $1,200 on a 70 class fucking GPU from NVIDIA. Let's give NVIDIA a round of applause. What up, State? What's good? Glad I caught this. Yeah. Nice, Deadwood. He's like, yeah, UPS, aircraft loader, DHL, FedEx. I only went to UPS. I didn't do UPS. I just... hold on. I got somebody sitting here knocking. Hold on. Oh. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Small little life interruptions every once in a while. But yeah, so we are looking at that, you know, $1,000 US to $1,200 US on a 70 class GPU that should never be above $800. Period. I can understand 800 on a TI class, and then between 600 and you know, almost 700 on the non-TI class. I'm afraid to see what they're going to release the non-TI for. It's like, holy cow. What power kilowatt you pay out there? So here at my house, I'm right at 10, yeah, about 10 cents a kilowatt hour. Here at the house, the facility a lot cheaper. I can offer you guys, you know, between like it'll vary depending on where I am and how much load I get on there. The better price that I can get, the better I can offer you guys. But the way that it looks like it's settling out right now, for certain, it's looking like, because like I was thinking it was going to be between 8 and 9 cents a kilowatt hour. It looks like I'm going to be at the 9 cents a kilowatt hour to start off with. So yeah, 9 cents a kilowatt hour at the facility to charge you guys. What up, Censored Crypto? What up? So, I mean, if you guys wanted to take advantage of that stuff, you know, the VIP list is down below. Get into the Patreon, get into the Pseudo Hasher tier. Yo. All right. So, and there's also perks with the Pseudo Hasher tier. I'm just saying. But yeah, I mean, it's like I would hate to see where, I know, shameless plug, sorry. I'd hate to see where, like I said, where the rest of the product stack is. Are they going to sit there and try to say a 60 class GPU is now fucking $600? We don't know. We do not know. What up, Mikhail? What up? So, yeah, I mean, like, this just seems like more and more like just like they're trying to just grab money. I mean, I have never seen it where MSRP is where the benchmark of where the price starts at. It's like, wow, I've never seen that ever. It's always been, here's MSRP, and all the product stacks always fell below MSRP levels, right? For the first time, we're praying for MSRP at this point, from them, and we're still not really getting it. Yeah, that is some BS, straight up BS more BS from NVIDIA. It's kind of funny that they basically sat there and were like, oh no, this isn't. They took a lot of guff for the VGA core die size, the amount of CUDA cores that are on there, and all that good stuff, right? And everybody was like, no, that's the 70 class GPU die stack. And they're like, yeah, you're right, and they pull it back out, and then this is what I was saying. I predicted when it first happened. I'm like, they are not going to drop the price on this. They're just going to rebadge this thing as a 1070 as a 4070 Ti, and then sell it for the same price that they were going to sit there and sell a cheap 4080 at. This just looks just more and more like money grab, and people really should vote with their dollars and stop supporting them for at least a full generation. Bring them back down to earth, guys. I'm just saying. Like right now in this environment, anything under 8 cents is profitable. I respect miners that go through this. Such a strong community. Yes, sir. I mean, at the facility, I've got a little better, but that's for me personally. I've got a lot of capital wrapped up into this, so yeah. It's like censored crypto. I doubt I will be buying a 4000 class card anytime soon. Yeah, that I refuse to support what NVIDIA is doing. I refuse. They need to come off their high horse, and start going, hey, we are going to make products for people who can actually afford it, versus only wanting to cater to people who have a lot of disposable income. And they're going to find out that coming up, especially coming into next year, if the recession hits as bad as what people are going to be is predicting for next year, ain't no one going to fucking buy this shit. They've got this last little hoorah, and then they're fucking they're going to watch their profits just fucking come back down to earth, and their little prissy bitch fucking stock shareholders can suck it. But that's just me. That's just my little rant. Sorry guys. Here's something that's actually cool. It's like, we might not be memory mining too much anymore. I mean, maybe some of you guys are setting up stuff for hard drive mining of some sort. Or you're mining Ethereum Classic, right? So here are a couple of product stacks that SK Hynix is going to be showcasing at the CES of next year, guys. Yo, and that's coming up soon, guys. Yo, this is cool shit. So they're going to be showcasing an energy-efficient, high-performance memory products. So we're going to have the CXL memory. And then this here, the PS1010 E3.S. This is an eSSD. So these are going to be very proprietary for the application that you're implementing it out onto. If you guys are familiar with this stuff, this is very much enterprise grade equipment here. Very cool stuff. Usually what you'll see it being put into the data centers first, because these people are the ones that are spending the big bucks to make sure that they can have this high-end memory and high-end storage that is lightning fucking fast. Which that's what the eSSD is going to be allowing for, and then the CXL memory, which will be 2.0 memory. Woo! this stuff will be way faster. So if you guys are setting up new nodes and stuff like that for yourself, what this kind of means also for like people who actually play around with enterprise grade servers at the house, right? I know some people do. This means that you're going to start seeing some new old stock come onto the market for sale as some of these data centers start implementing the newer standards into the facility, and they will kind of rotate out old inventory for all the newer stuff. Which if you guys are playing around with it, you'll be able to get your hands on this stuff. So, what miners would be acceptable in your establishment? A lot of outdated hardware is not profitable. Difficulty is a bitch. For how can I put this? So I kind of shy away. Me and Mikkel kind of shy away from 3080s and 3090s, unless you're willing to sit there and put these things into power efficiency mode versus high hash rate. The 3090s and 3080s take up a lot of power on one circuit, so we kind of shy away from it a little bit. I do know how to tune them to where you'll get the most efficiency out of them at a respectable amount of power that I can predict a lot easier with the cards. But I mean, I pretty much, if you're wanting to pay for it, well, it's $5 a month per rig on the shelf. 9 cents a kilowatt hour on power, and that's effective power rate. No extra taxation, no nothing like that. It'll be 9 cents a kilowatt hour. And you mind your own wallet. You control the rigs. It's whatever you. The only thing that we don't want to see are open air rigs. Everything has to be in a server case. If you do not have a server case, one will be supplied for you. You can either outright buy one off of us. We have cheap options, all the way up to, more of your higher end options. So there is that. We can have Octominer. Get you an Octominer. We have some cheaper ones there, and you just send us the GPUs instead. We fill out a contract with us. Everything's on the up and up. Like I'm talking about the L3 and the E3. If you wanted to send them, it's your dime, dude. Those things are not really that bad on power, actually, in my viewpoint. E3s, you're talking what at the high side, fucking 765 watts. L3s, I forget where that power was. I think that was still below 1,000 on it. 980s, bro. If you could find something that could mine on a 980, bro, a GTX 980, go for it. You're talking about the 980 SSD. You're talking about SSD stuff there? Oh, okay. I see where you're talking about here. Oh, I see it. I just answered my question by reading up a little higher. Yeah, NVMe. Yeah, it depends on your board setup. If you have multiple zones on your board, your motherboard for PCIe, for like the M.2 NVMe's, you can sit there and put it into a lower slot, and it doesn't always affect the very first GPU slot. Like the GPU slot and usually the M.2 connector above it or below it usually shares with that one, but other ones will share with the rest of the PCIe lanes, but not the first one. It's confusing, I know. So sometimes you can play around with that and actually get them in there and not really suffer a hit of performance on your GPU side. At least I know that's how my motherboard is set up. I've got 2 different zones for M.2 on my board. So like I prefer enterprise SSDs for Chia, but the 980, yeah, the NVMe 980 would do great. Yeah, but those things are fucking expensive though. Oh, good God. They're really expensive. You get 10 kilowatts, so it's 1,000 watts. Okay. I used to have a whole bunch of them, but I never noticed. I never like had. I didn't have any meters at that time when I had them. So, man, check out the SK Hynix, man. It looks like what they're going to be coming out with here, guys. That's going to be pretty nice. For Chia, these are enterprise grade solutions here. eSSDs and the new CXL memory. Boom. Like, if you want speed, you need RAM drive. Fuck yeah, dude. That's if you're really trying to get some real quick speeds out of stuff. I've never needed anything that fast, but I don't play around with a lot of the enterprise stuff like that. I mean, that's why I know you guys do. Something that I'm actually kind of, it perked my interest when I saw this is I mean, we are all familiar with the GDDR6, the GDDR6X memory. Now we got GDDR6 AIM memory, and we got the new HBM3 memory finally drops. And we'll, at that point, I've been seeing rumors of the HBM3 that is going to be coming out next year, and I can't wait to see the specs on the new HBM3 memory. Now, this basically with AMD, the Radeon graphics cards, they were all using HBM and HBM2 memory. And the problem with the HBM and HBM2 memory is you can't just power the machine off. If you had it underneath high load and then you turn off the GPU, you risk actually breaking your HBM memory, whether it's HBM or HBM2. Because basically once the fan stops spinning, the radiator gets heat soaked. So you've got to basically take the load off of that GPU, and then basically, in other words, if you have a power outage and you're mining with HBM memory modules at all and you lose power, you better get airflow on those cards ASAP. Red Panda used to have issues with this until he kind of discovered that he had to stop the miner, let the card cool down, and then turn it off, and everything was fine. He stopped breaking the cards, and this is the actual reason. Now, I found a forum that there was engineers that were talking about the HBM memory and having a heat soak issue if it was turned off too quickly after load. So that's where it collaborated along with what Red Panda's issue was with his Radeon graphics cards, where they would code 43 on him. If you guys don't remember seeing that stuff, so this just kind of goes right along with what he discovered, which was just turning the miner off and letting the card cool down. So awesome for Red Panda for figuring it out. Not so awesome that he had to lose a couple of cards in the process of finally figuring it out, guys. But the GDDR6 AIM, I'm wondering what kind of custom solution that's actually going to get put into, or will this be something that AMD is going to utilize? Where NVIDIA got the GDDR6X, is AMD going to get the GDDR6 AIM memory, which is going to be the competition to the X modules, right? It very well could be. We'll find out. Maybe this is a thicker stack. I was seeing them coming out with and I'm not sure if this is the same, because like it wasn't named the same thing, but the way that they were layering the GDDR6 memory to actually maximize and get more memory on the package. So I'm not sure if that's what this is, where they figured out a more efficient way to build the memory modules with less interconnects onto them, shorter routes, because the wires are where they really lose their speed. So if they can make those the stacks with really short little wire runs on there, your speed loss on it will be nominal, and you'll have a much faster module that will, of course, they're going to want to have all of them being power efficient. But if you sit there and you stack up the modules right, and they will be heat efficient and power efficient by design, because you're not going to be utilizing as much power to keep those modules cool. And if those modules stay cooler, they will actually utilize less power over time. So it's a dual-edged sword. If you let the modules get too warm, the added heat will add in resistance, and that resistance will then take more power. So that will be an interesting thing. But I think that's what these ones are those the new stack on the GDDR6 memory modules. I'm kind of excited to see that, and I'm wondering who's going to use it in the GPU world first. Who's going to get these? That's going to be my big thing. SK Hynix has been coming up in the world with making memory, catching right onto the coattails of Samsung's performance with power usage too. So I've been finding that my SK Hynix will perform just as good and with just as low of power as my Samsung memory that everybody used to rant and rave about back in the day, going, "Oh, Samsung's the best. You can undervolt the snot out of it and still keep all your performance." And then I discovered it's SK Hynix, and I was like, I can do the same thing on that. So I have no issues with utilizing anything with SK Hynix branding on there. They are a top-notch company for sure. Another interesting one, if you guys are looking for some fast RAM, bam! We got Gilles is announcing their DDR5 8,000 mega transfers, 16 gigabytes of memory. Yo, that is insane. Yeah, but 3 years ago, Hynix memory was what nobody wanted for memory. You know what? Even my RX 580s that had SK Hynix, I actually got better performance off of my SK Hynix over Samsung. That's just my personal experience with it. I'm not sold on the Samsung memory idea. I've had so many SK Hynix memory modules that I have less issues with them. The Micron is garbage. But SK Hynix, not so much. Not so much of an issue. That's the next topic there. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. I like their boxing on there. If that's, it's a rendering. I get it. I'd be really interested on that. We could see that the timings on there are pretty high up there: 38, 48, 48, and 90. 1.45 volts on there on the die set on there. Dual packs on here, so these will be 16 gigabytes by 2 in one package. So you'll be, getting 32 gigabytes of very fast fucking RAM on here. And you can get it in black too. Yo, I always like it in black. I'm just not really big on Polaris. If you guys are into the snowmobiling world, I'm Team Yamaha, not Polaris. But that's just me. That's just me. But I still like being in the black. I just wish they didn't have the Polaris insignia on there. I'd have to scratch that off if I ever used it. Yeah. So, I mean, you're basically going to be looking at kit capacities of 16 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte, and 64 gigabyte. Modules will contain 16 gigabyte and 32 gigabyte. So you get the Racing Red, Titanium Gray, and Glacier White for your color schemes. If your guys are trying to theme out your personal GPUs, I mean not GPUs, bleh, your personal PC gaming rigs. If you're wanting to theme out everything, this is especially if you're on all the newer standard hardware, which means you've already spent out a lot of money. And if you are looking for something that's going to fit your build, why stop spending money here? Let's just go ahead and get the best of the best. Now, there are drawbacks with getting these 8,000 mega transfer modules that I have seen other people that have been playing around in the space, is that not all the motherboards are supporting the high mega transfers quite yet, even though they're capable. They're not supporting all of that yet. A lot of this stuff is still new. So you might have, if you do grab one of these module kits, don't be surprised if you have to downclock it. Also, make sure that your CPU you chose can even handle this. Maybe you might want to sit there and hold off if it can't handle the 8,000 mega transfers to begin with. Get yourself some cheaper RAM until these become cheaper in price. To where it becomes more cost efficient for you to continue to spec build your gaming rig to the max. For as far as mining wise, something like this, unless there's an algorithm that is doing some small memory dumping into your RAM, you're not going to really see a huge difference versus using cheaper RAM that is of the DDR5 family versus using the highest end with the highest mega transfers per second. I have yet to see anything that's really tilted that over. Now, otherwise, overclocking my RAM would make this dramatic difference. But this is a difference of I'm trying to fine tune it so that I can tweak my CPU a little differently. So those things will kind of come into play where you'll get more out of overclocking your CPU in something that's going to be utilizing your RAM. It's better to have your CPU be faster versus needing that. That's just my experience. I've never played in the enterprise game where you get the ECC RAM for the error correcting. I've never played with any of that stuff. If that makes a bigger difference than standard gaming RAM, basically. I mean, it's a standard PC equipment at this point for the general public. I don't think anything on that I've ever played around with really made a huge difference in there. It was more, do you have at least 16 gigabytes of RAM in there? Do you have all your core, do you have all your RAM slots populated to get the best out of all your cores? That was where I've always played it. Do you have dual channel RAM? Are you populating both of them? Do you have quad channel RAM? Are you populating all of them? If you have quad channel RAM and you're trying to overclock, just know that you're not going to be able to overclock your fucking RAM because you're in quad channel mode, and quad channel mode does not support high mega transfers of RAM. How do I know this? I have a Threadripper. I have 8 sticks of RAM in here. I can only overclock my RAM to 2666. My CPU will support 3200 mega transfers. The only way that I can do that is if I populate dual channel RAM. That's just how it works, unfortunately. Censored crypto. I worked as a tech at Polaris dealer back in the 90s. Oh damn. See, if I'm gonna venture away from Yamaha, my dude, it'll be Arctic Cat. I'm sorry. I have dragged so many Polarises out of the trails of every one of my buddies. I've dragged every one of their sleds out with my 1988 Yamaha EX570. What up, Ralph Cooper? What up? Mad Electron Engineering. Kick the voltage up on the Threadripper socket. A little bit. I mean, I can, my thread, I got the 1950X. That thing will hold all cores at 4.2 gigahertz. It's like I wouldn't buy a Polaris either. Nice. They're interesting. I had a buddy of mine that had one. I want to say it's a little snappier than my Yamaha, but but my Yamaha has better top end than the Rotax does. I know, right, man Electron? That's not bad for a first gen. I even got my 1900X. It would hit 4.1. I can do 4.2, but it would start acting funny, and I think it was just because I didn't have enough cooling. I ran out of cooler for it. I was using an Intermax cooler on liquid cooler on here. Now I've got a custom EK setup on here, and that seems to like solve all the power, all the heat issues. Like I have zero heat soak. Like I can put this thing under a mad amount of fucking load, and I'm getting a maybe 64C. These Threadrippers are designed to actually run at about 68C. Bro, no kidding. I know, right? Dude, those fucking Epics are so expensive, but they're worth it. They are so worth it. And here, guys, check this one out. We're going to get into the topic of here. Here's some mining issues. Some of you may have seen this before, so, you know, maybe you guys have seen this before, but for some of you guys that have never seen this before, check this out. So, if you can see here, this is the very first the 3090 rig that I put together. This started off with an EVGA XC3 3090. As you see here, that is the first card that is now malfunctioning. Don't worry, it's off right now. As you saw in the thumbnail, this card and this card are both off. They do have some. There are other goofy issues that were going on with it, and basically what's going on here is I go to turn off the rig and I turn it back on. These two cards consistently don't show up, and they show up malfunctioning like this every time. Now I have taken my EVGA 3080 XC3, which is this bottom one, GPU numbers 4 here, and I've got another 3080 rig sitting right next to it. So I unslotted my MSI off of my 3080 rig, and I slotted this one in, and it fired right on up, no issues, same overclocks, no problems. So I know that it's not a GPU error issue. So this EVGA 3080 non-TI, just a regular EVGA 3080 XC3. So dual 8-pin, short little cooler, shorter PCB than for the Win 3. And the 3090, the same thing. Now, we're talking about the buy one adapters being plugged in the first slot and the last slot on this on the motherboard. The motherboard is an ASRock H110 Pro BTC Plus mining motherboard. Like I just had that happen to a 2080. I had it repadded, repasted, popped up malfunction, ended up that the pads were too thick, not letting the die contact the vapor chamber. Thinner pads in a good contact. Yeah, so your problem was it was hitting hitting its heat limiter as soon as it turned on because it didn't have any die coverage. So yes, that would be an issue, 100%. These GPUs, I have taken them and put them onto another motherboard, and they fire up just fine. So there's nothing wrong with either one of these cards. Now, I'll rewind that a little bit. The 3090 has broken fans on it, but it was mining up until like a week ago. Probably about 4 days ago. It stopped mining. And same thing with the 3080. So these have one thing in common with each other. There's only one thing, I mean, outside of the motherboard, but if it was a motherboard problem, it would have affected all of these GPUs, right? Now, I was having an issue on the motherboard side where I would reboot it and it stopped connecting into the internet, period. It started just boot looping. So what I ended up doing was I unmounted the cooler off the CPU. I took the CPU out of the socket, cleaned it, put it back in there, put the cooler back on. It fired up, went right to the internet immediately. I'm like, okay, cool. And everything turned on. Now, after that, once it turned on, what I started noticing right off the bat was that the 3090 XE3 and the 3080 XE3, every so often you would see the LEDs on there just kind of flash, like it just rebooted. Now I'm looking at the dashboard like I am right here, and I just see this. It just says malfunction, right? And I'm like looking over and I'm just watching and go flash. Every so often, it wasn't like crazy, like you could time it exactly when it would do it. But it was just like every so often, you just see it just flash. So I started suspecting the power supply on this. I'm like, because both of those GPUs are plugged into the power supply on this. So the 3090 XE3 has a power limit of 366 watts. The 3080 XE3 is the same thing at 366 watts as max wattage possible. These cards will not take any more than 366 watts, period, right? I've got a 1200 watt power supply, HP, and it's plugged into 220, which means that instead of, if I plugged it in the 110, it would be 900 watts, but I plugged it into 220, which gives me 1200 watts. So basically what I noticed is that the power button on the breakout board is no longer responsive in any way, shape, or form. It can only be turned on through Molex. Normally that's not an issue. That's how I always have them run, where they power on through Molex. It's never been an issue before until now. So I was sitting here kind of, I just so happened to lean over, and it fucking did it right in front of me. I leaned over, I watched the LEDs turn off, and the fans come to a stop. I'm like, huh, what's all that about? I look over at the power supply, and there's usually a little green light on the HP power supplies right next to the cooling fan, and that was off. So I've got no other spare breakout boards. I've got no other spare PSUs here. So I ordered one up. I've got a 1500 watt one coming in with a breakout board. So and I've even got a new CPU, just in case there's a CPU fucking problem with this thing. And it was super cheap. I was like, for fucking $30, sold. I'll take a spare CPU. These are Celeron 30. It's a Celeron 3930. So I mean, it's nothing special. It's a generic X11 breakout board. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's super generic on there. I just don't have any spare parts for these things. So it's like, and I've had one die before, and these X11 breakout boards are so cheap. And I try to buy better ones, but it is what it is, guys. So hopefully by Friday I will see the new power supply for this thing. I really think it's the breakout board and not the power supply. I think the breakout board failed, is where it is. Oh, on the breakout board itself, I'll try that, because like that would be a good way to be able to test it to see if the power supply still turns on. Because like I don't really care if this thing stays on all the time. It makes no difference to me in any way, shape, or form. I will give it a try. Sure. I have a link down below, Mad Electron Engineering. It's directly to the Family Minds Discord. Hop on in there, bro. There is a, I don't like it is kind of a logic board, so there's an on-off switch in there, and then there's a sense wire that you can plug in a Molex into, or there's a pinout adapter in there that you can daisy chain multiple HP power supplies together and have them all boot at the same time. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in so many different discords. Yeah, I'm in D Miner's Discord also. Yes, sir. Thank you for the info, my dude. So, but it's like, and what we're guys are talking about here is these bad boys right here. Let me see if I get a. So there's a little power switch on here, a little it's just a way to be able to get your VGA cables to plug into whatever, whether it be an ASIC or whether it be to GPUs and risers. Thank you. Oh, I see you. Nice. Thank you, my dude. So basically what he's talking about here is bypassing all of the power on switch mode and just put this thing into just full blown, hey, you plug it in, it's on. You get no other choice. It's on. And that would be a good way to also test for, is the power supply still good? This is the power supply that I have right now. So I've got it hooked up to the Molex on here for just turning on power. It's got a little on and off switch. It's the X adapter version 11. This is the exact one that I am utilizing as of right this moment. And basically, if you can sit there and bypass the on-off circuit on this and just have it always on, you don't have to worry about, the only thing you got to worry about is if you need to turn it off, it won't. For any reason, you got to pull the plug on this thing. So you got to treat it like you're basically turning it into an ASIC power supply. You know, where ASICs are just basically you plug it in and you know they're on, they're good to go. Now for the ones that I have had them. The power supplies and the breakout boards I've had for 4 years. They were sitting on E3s originally. All my HP power supplies have been on ASICs first. Whether they were on S19 or S9s or on E3s or were they on L3 pluses. So I have pretty much put them on. All this equipment is old. You know, it's like they've served their purpose tenfold. So I mean, I'm not hurt that it decided to crap out. You know, big deal. You know. So this is like a fucking common problem, even with the parallel miners. Because that's where I got these from, were parallel miners. I will have to test this and see if I can turn them back, turn these back on. If I can get them to turn them back on, baller. Oh, very much a common problem. Because I want to say this is the second one that shit on me in the last 8 months. I mean, granted, they're old, dude. Like, I bought these things, like I said, 4 years ago. So they've been used and abused. They've been in 100-degree temperatures. They've survived all this time. So if all I got to do is just jumper a couple of pins, I can do that. We're good to go. That is hilarious if that's all the problem is with it. Yeah, so what he's talking about is, it's funny that he brings up Parallel Miner because this is where I got them from originally, folks. You know, same thing. X adapter version 11 shows your voltage on there. Gives you a little amber light and a green light. Amber light's in standby mode, green light's not. And yeah, I mean, you can sit there, power it up with just a button. But in my case, that circuit no longer works. And then you could sit there and daisy chain them together like this. This way, you turn one on, they all turn on. This is how you can utilize them with you know, GPU mining rigs. This way, they all turn on, and then you could use one Molex to plug into the one, and then it'll turn on all the subsequent GPUs right after that, which is kind of nice. It's like, so should I stick to my ATX power supplies? It would seem they just keep on going on for you. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. I mean, like, you get more power density doing this. I mean, I can stack two of these together, and it still takes up less room. It's about the same amount of room being utilized as an ATX, and I've doubled my power capabilities. So, I mean, it all depends. It really depends on how you're doing things. Open air rigs, you know, if you're sitting on a Veta frame or something like that, it doesn't make so much of a difference. As soon as you go into server grade stuff, you start looking at this. And unfortunately, it looks like these are, you know, I mean, I've only had out of all the year, you know, out of 4 years of, you know, yeah, I mean, I've been mining since 2018. So since then, I've had all of my breakout boards since then, and they're just now having an issue. The power supply is still fine, but the breakout board failed. And you can see here, $20 every 4 or 5 years, and you've got something that's power dense. You know, I think it's, you know, for me, it works very nicely. And on top, and to go along with that censored crypto, I mean, your application, the way you have it set up right now is fine. But if you look at an ATX power supply at 1,000 watts to 1,600 watts, you're going to be $200+ for just the power supply, right? I can get you can sit there and you can get 1,200 watt power supplies with a breakout board here, 94% efficiency, 80+ platinum rating on there, for about $200. If you were to try to get a 1,200 watt power supply, an ATX power supply, I think you're about 250 to 300. During a mining boom, you're going to be at 400 for a power supply during a mining boom. That's why they always say, build during a bear market, because the prices come back down to reality here. What up, dude? Yeah, exactly. No need to change what you got. Unless something breaks. Exactly, Matt. Electron Engineering. Exactly. But if you're gonna build another rig, then you can make that decision for the new rig. But if you're just looking at, hey, do I need to upgrade my stuff? No. Especially if you're only running on 110 and you've got a 1,000 watt power supply, that 1,000 watt ATX power supply is going to be better than an HP power supply that's going to output 900 watts at 110. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, and if all that craps out every so often is the breakout boards, these things are fucking cheap enough. And I had them sitting there mining away on ASICs. So, can I be mad about this? Probably not. I think I've done pretty decent with my with the hardware that I've chosen over the years. My biggest consumable with all the mining stuff that I've been doing has been GPU risers. That has been my number one consumable. Power outages kill them. Turning them on and off kills them. The old ones would just, the older variations, like the version 6 risers, they would just like out of the box plug it in, just not work. Throw that one away, plug another one in, works. So I mean, like, I've gone through different generations of GPU risers from every make and model out there. Some have been lasted longer than others. I know the ones that I have utilized from GPU risers have done me okay for right now. I mean, I'm only gonna say okay because, like, I don't know. I have to see the long term on there. I know one of them I have about 6 months on, so we'll see how long that lasts me. If it starts to outlast some of the other ones that I bought that were on the higher end too, then I know which template of risers I'd like to go after, and I'll put that data together for you guys so that if you guys are looking for good risers, be prepared to spend a little extra money and get the better shit. And if that better stuff means you have less downtime, you have less to worry about if you have a power outage, that's the way to go. Some of the older ones, they would just turn off. You would just turn the rig off for general maintenance and boot it back up, and that riser's dead. Just in that short amount of time. It's ridiculous on some of the older hardware that I used to deal with. Like, I fried a few myself until I switched to Octominers. I only got one rig left on risers. I've actually got a Octominer board I need to warranty out. Because it's got a dead hole on the board. It's an 8+. And yeah, What is it? Slot 3 is dead. It was either slot 2 or slot 3 was dead in the dead hole. Mikkel would remember that one because he was pulling it apart, and we had to take one GPU, and it was saying that it was malfunctioning, or it just wouldn't show up anymore. And he put it into another case, and it's been running fine ever since. So, I mean, it is what it is. Oh yeah, I've reset that. I've done so much to that thing. We just discuss, and it like it's only affecting one slot. If it was affecting the whole adapter board from Octominer, I would say, yeah, we're probably looking at a communication problem. But it's only one slot that's having an issue. Yeah, I have two open air rigs left, and they're just sitting here at the house. For at the house, it's perfect. You know, I don't need to worry about it. It provides heat. You know, yada yada yada. You know, all that good stuff. Whew. So, does anybody got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? Thank you, everybody, for showing up here. You all rock, guys. We got 10 of you awesome people here. Certainly smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Make sure your bell notification is turned on for all. YouTube doesn't like to do that. And then you don't get notifications all the time. So, yes. So if you guys don't have any other comments or questions, I'm going to head up out of here. I might do some gaming on either it'll either be on Twitch or on YouTube, which will be for YouTube side it will be Crypto and Hot Rods Gaming, or on Twitch side it's Crypto and Hot Rods. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it or not. Depends on what I got going on. Thank you, DNA Tech. I'm gonna try to get some gaming in. Try to. I feel an itch to sit there and race. No, Larry. No. No shit, Mad Electron. He's like, Tanes and you got racing wheels now. Need to get a game going on the weekend with you. Yes! I'm fucking down, Mad Electron Engineering. Totally down. Totally down. Just let me know the game. I've got Assetto Corsa Competizione. That one's really good with steering wheels. And the graphics are pretty good. iRacing is really fucking expensive. And I've stayed away from that one just on the principle is that game is really fucking expensive. But I've got Assetto Corsa, the regular game, the older game. Dirt games. I mean, I just let me know what game you want to do. Oh, you got it. Yeah, we'll do some Assetto Corsa Competizione. I love it. Yes. Dirt 5. Okay, I'm still stuck on Dirt 4, but I can get Dirt 5. And then a fun one. If you ain't got it, Wreckfest. It's an older game. It's a demolition derby game. Fucking mad fun, dude. Let's get that one too. It's cheap. The Wreckfest is cheap as hell now. The last time I looked at it. Oh, dude, it's nothing but shenanigans, dude. You can just go up to somebody, just smack them, hit them out of the way. I'm telling you, it's mad fun, dude. Mad fun. Especially when you got friends playing. You know, you can play along with friends. It makes it so much better. Because, like, the game physics kind of suck. But the overall gameplay and the shenanigans that can be had makes it a staple for me. I've been playing that game since it first came out. I love it. So yeah, hit me up. Fucking, you got me in the DMs now. Yeah, you and Tanes, fucking, let's get a game together. I'm down. Big Rome, I play a lot of sim racing games. But I also do Assassin's Creed. I do God of War. I love God of War. That is an epic fucking game that has never gotten old for me. I love it. Yes, Wreckfest is so underrated. So underrated. Truth. Truth. It's like one of those games that it's like it's like a group of guys are together and you're like, hey, what do we play? And they're like, oh, they're like, Wreckfest? It's like, I'll put you into the wall. So, yes. Cool beans. I haven't heard anybody say that in a hot minute. Awesome. So, thank you everybody for being here. You all rock. If you guys are wanting to, if you're new here, certainly, I have links down below, guys. Join the Discord. It's free, guys, to join in there. You just got to pass the bot inspection. They want to make sure you're not a bot and you're a real human being. And then if you guys would like to support the channel or get VIP access to the mining facility, links down below to the Patreon. I've got like 3 different tiers: tip tier, mid tier, and then VIP pseudo hasher tier. And it has some perks, of course, in there. You have to join in order to find out what those perks are. But when we open up our doors officially to the public, the perks end at that point. So. But one of the perks I could sit there and talk about is that if you guys happen to be using XM Rig, I've got, I have it in there so that, especially for us home miners that don't have very many CPUs, you can save that 1% dev fee off the miner. And I have everything set up, instructions to be able to do that for the Linux side. All the way to, I have it already set up for Windows side, so all you have to do is just take the executable file out and swap it with the one that I have in there. No funny business. I just took the dev fee off of it. That's all I did, guys. Don't panic. So I mean, it's all I did was just pulled out the dev fee out of it. You join the Patreon. It's if you're in there, it's yours. But you got to join. Otherwise, thank you everybody for being here. If I don't see you until the end of the, don't forget, guys, that at the end of the week, we are doing a S9 hash rate giveaway. We're going to be picking winners for that on Friday. This Friday, guys. So if you want to win 30 days worth of hash rate for free to your Bitcoin wallets, you want to be here Friday. Minimum, guys. You want to be here by Friday. Be there or be square. Otherwise, I will be in the morning, of course, doing my workouts as usual. Take that as a fun little hangout time. If you're at work, whatever, it don't matter. It's just a little hangout, shoot the shit moment. And then I will be on with all the crypto news in the afternoon, as always, guys. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. And may your hash rate be high and your watts be low. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo, drop some FAs in the Chizity chat. Yo.